Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO, on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp. is a Canadian-based mineral exploration project generator. The company currently holds multiple property interests in Ontario with joint venture partners and is seeking further joint venture partners for other drill-ready properties in our portfolio. For more information, please visit our website at rmroyalty.com or call me at 604-922-2030.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Hello, Jim. Thank you.
Sharon, we have an important guest speaker coming to BC talking about the hazards of microwave radiation. Who is it and where they're going to be?
In most of the places, it will be Dr. Martin Paul. He is a world-renowned scientist, and we are so very, very happy and lucky to get him to come up. He's driving up on his working vacation, and he is going to be presenting in multiple communities. In Victoria and Salt Spring, he will be joined by Dr. Timothy Sheckley, who is an expert on fiber optic networks. Together, they will be presenting information about the health risks that we're being confronted with today by the proliferation of the wireless devices, and specifically about the 5G networks that are being built. And Dr. Paul will talk about the health effects. He's done multiple studies. He is one of the experts who has identified the mechanisms for how the damage is done to our DNA and our cells, which result in the multitude of symptoms and health issues that people are experiencing and that have been documented for decades. Dr. Paul is going to be presenting in communities all over the island and in Vancouver, and he's even agreed to present in Penticton. Every day more places are being added to the list. He is being very, very generous with his time. And Dr. Sheckley is going to be providing options. We all know and we've read and heard so much about the fact that wireless is not the best way of communicating information. First of all, it's highly hackable, and our wireless systems are very, very vulnerable. Wi-Fi wireless is not terribly efficient. It's very slow in comparison to wired. Even regular Ethernet cables are faster. In schools, teachers, students, everyone has complained when they find that the Wi-Fi connections don't provide the kind of service that they're used to when they disconnect from fiber optic cable. So Dr. Sheckley is going to talk about this, and also he's going to talk about the fact that small communities and even larger communities in pockets, they can do it in sections of communities or neighborhoods, set up networks, own your own communication network, your own internet network. Why be dependent upon TELUS or Shaw when you can have your own fiber optic system and even make money off of it? So this is what he's going to be talking about, again, in Victoria and Salt Spring only. We also are having in Victoria, our presentation is July 3rd at 7 o'clock. The doors will open at 6:30 for kind of a meet and greet. At 7 to 8:30, Dr. Paul and Dr. Sheckley will be presenting at the Emmanuel Baptist Church. It's at 2121 Cedar Hill Crossroad. Lots of parking there. It's a beautiful facility, and we do hope that people will come. Entrance is by donation, and this is an opportunity for people to meet some world-class experts and to have some of their concerns addressed and questions answered. Dr. Paul is very, very free with his time, as is Dr. Sheckley. Again, we're very happy to have them. If people want to see where other presentations are and where the venues are in places like Nanaimo and Bowen Island, in Vancouver, and Surrey and Penticton. They can check on our website, www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. It's on the front page, and we're maintaining it as much as we possibly can. As new information comes in, we're making it available. Contacts are provided there so people in the various areas can contact the people to get more information if they wish. Also, on July 3rd, we're trying to do something new. We have sent out, as of yesterday, invitations to approximately 40 to 50 local politicians and health officials, like Dr. Bonnie Henry and Dr. Richard Stanwyck, to come to an informal meeting at 11:30, and it's going to be held. London Chef is at 953 Fort Street in Victoria. It's going to be an opportunity for people to ask their questions of Dr. Sheckley and Dr. Paul without the public being there and without the media being there. We're hoping to give them a space where they feel comfortable in asking questions and to get information that we've been trying to present to them over the last many years, and which so far has not seemed to resonate with them. Hopefully, hearing it from experts will be more meaningful than receiving studies and getting information from people like me. Again, the invitations went out, and I hope that people will write to their local politicians, their mayors, their councillors, their MLAs, and ask them if they get the invitation, please respond, please attend. We've asked for an RSVP so that we can plan the luncheon. But if they aren't invited or cannot attend the daily luncheon meeting, please come to the evening meeting. This is vital, and we're going to allow plenty of time for questions and answers.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after this.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Grand Portage Resources' Herbert Gold Project in southeast Alaska highlights increased gold resource, indicated and inferred, of 860,000 ounces, in excess of 10 grams per ton gold. Expansion drilling is planned on the Herbert Gold property for the summer of 2019. Grand Portage Resources trading symbols are GPG on the TSX Venture, GPTRF on the OTCQB, and GPB on Frankfurt. For more information, please visit our website, grandportage.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, you have kind of a scary story about people who might be sensitive to 5G or other microwave radiation. The world is about to be, I guess, microwaved to death here. What's the scenario here, and how fast is this going to happen?
Well, it's happening as we speak, unfortunately.
All the satellites.
Yeah. It's happening in various forms, but Elon Musk on May 23rd, launched the first 60 low-level satellites. And he is planning on 6 more launches, which will bring the total up to 420 satellites by the end of the year. And at that point, he is going to turn them on. And they will be emitting 5G radiation around the world 24/7. His ultimate goal is to have 12,000 satellites, low-level satellites, aimed at every part of the Earth within the next few years. This is in addition to Google and Amazon and probably other companies that are competing for the audience. This is devastating news. We were hoping that sanity would prevail, but obviously it hasn't. This is technology that is designed to do harm. This is technology that was designed for the military, for crowd control, and to be used as a weapon. and now it's being turned on every living thing. Experts are warning that plant life, insect life, as well as human life, is in danger of being irradiated to death. Dr. Paul himself has spoken a lot about this, and when you listen to it or when you read about it, it almost sounds like a conspiracy theory. It doesn't sound real. But when you consider that the level of microwave radiation to which we're exposed already, right now, today, is billions of times higher than the natural level to which all life has evolved, and that this level is going to be increased by 20 to 30 times in the very near future, it doesn't sound like a conspiracy theory anymore. It sounds more like a nightmare. And there's very little we seem to be able to do about it. The World Health Organization, which is the prime agency, which is looked to by our health organizations such as Health Canada, which is looked to by our provincial health authorities like Bonnie Henry and the BC Centre for Disease Control, all are under the influence of the very same industry that is putting these satellites out there and that is putting the microcells outside our homes. They're in it for money. They're in it because their duty, their mandate, is to make profits for their stakeholders. The World Health Organization's mandate is to protect us. But over the decades, it's been influenced and infiltrated by industry people from Michael Rapiccioli on up. It's especially for the last 20 years or 25 years. The World Health Organization is no longer independent and no longer credible. I would encourage anyone who doubts what I am saying about the World Health Organization or who would like to read a little bit more about it to go on our website and look under newsletters and go to June 9th. There is a very interesting and revealing article, along with a YouTube for those who don't like to read that long, an article by Olga Sheehan. She's been writing these now for several years, warning people about the World Health Organization's influence by industry. And she knows it as an insider. She worked for the World Health Organization. And she also got a brain tumor from using her cell phone. She also worked with the director, the former director of the United Nations section of the World Health Organization, who became electromagnetically sensitive. These things are happening to people, and anyone who complains about it or who tries to draw attention to the fact is ostracized, made to feel as if they are having psychiatric problems, or are ignored. And that's exactly what happened to Olga Sheehan. And she wishes to tell people what she knows about the World Health Organization. Health Canada, whenever we've gone to them and said, your information is outdated. Safety Code 6 is antiquated, and it does not protect against the type of radiation to which we're being exposed. They say, well, the World Health Organization says it's fine, and the Cancer Society says it's fine. The Cancer Society is infiltrated by industry and follows the World Health Organization too. There's nobody, no agency out there who is really protecting us, Jim. And they ignore the warnings and the scientific evidence provided by the experts. And now that the satellites are going up in space, they're ignoring the fact that there are warnings that central communications are going to be interfered with. Weather could be interfered with. In addition to health, you're going to be affecting the migratory travels of birds. It is just unimaginable what's happening. And I do hope that people will take the opportunity, avail themselves of the opportunity of listening to Dr. Paul when he's here. He has graciously, as has Dr. Timothy Sheckley, agreed to be videotaped by Shaw for their Citizens Forum, which is televised through Shaw local networks here in British Columbia. So for people who are live too far away to attend some of the sessions, they will be able to see the one from Victoria, which is going to be televised.
Of course, Shaw conveniently shut down their cable operations in Vancouver to save $20 million a year because we were supposed to get more local news coverage. I'm sure that they'll take time on global television to show that presentation.
I don't know.
I'm joking.
Yeah. I don't have any faith that the media is going to do anything to help us. They haven't yet.
Well, they don't forget Bell sells cell phones.
They're all owned
that's
by
CTV.
the media. They're all owned by the
Global is Shaw, which
invested in by the telecoms.
Yeah.
They've planned their approach very, very well. You know, when we go out there and say, please just share this information, the public learn from tobacco only by receiving the truth. The doctors, if you go back, I know it's ancient history, but if you go back to the 1940s and 50s, ads were on television by doctors telling that if you smoked, it would help relax you. It was only after the public started raising a hue and cry about the number of people dying with lung cancer and discovering that the industry knew this all along, that nicotine was not only addictive, it was killing people, that things changed. Labels got put on cigarette packages. Ads
yes,
were
but
withdrawn.
now they're allowing vaping ads, and the Trudeau government has allowed them to put nicotine into vaping products.
I know. It's starting all over.
So who's in whose pocket?
Everybody's in everybody's pocket. And it is the government. You know, our government right now makes billions of dollars each year by selling a portion of the spectrum to the telecom companies so that they can open up more room for their wireless devices. They can't give up billions of dollars easily. That's a lot of money that the government's depending upon. By allowing more room for more wireless devices on the spectrum. And now they're selling the milliwaves, the very, very high frequency shortwave milliwaves that are going to be turned into laser beams under 5G. The conflicts of interest and the biases that are in our government are allowing this to happen, and it's only by educating the public. And it's you and I, Jim, and people by word of mouth that will educate each other, because the media and the government sure isn't helping, are not helping.
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Magnum Gold Corp, MGI and the TSX Venture Exchange. A 2015 drill program on the LH property intersected several high-grade gold intersections, including 11 meters of 20.66 grams per ton gold. Additional drill targets on the LH property have been identified by a 2018 drone airborne magnetic survey to further evaluate a pyrrhotite-enriched gold-bearing system. Please visit our website at magnumgoldcorp.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Jim?
Yep.
I'd like to talk about this new push in the U.S. to put the 5G antennas on homes.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the good ruling in Oregon here.
Okay.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, what have they decided to do about Wi-Fi in schools in Oregon?
Well, finally we have a good news story, Jim. I know usually it's gloom and doom when we speak, but after many years of trying to shake things up and to improve things by a worried father, Dave Morrison, in Portland, Oregon, and a politician whose name I cannot pronounce, after years of fighting to try to get Wi-Fi turned off in schools, or at least to have studies looked at to see the dangers that children are being exposed to as they sit in schoolrooms for 7 hours a day, exposed to industrial-strength Wi-Fi modems, the politicians in Oregon have voted unanimously in the House and it is expected that the Senate will vote successfully as well very soon to demand that the studies regarding Wi-Fi and possible health effects with relationship to Wi-Fi in schools and exposure to children and the fact that children are so very, very vulnerable be reviewed. This is a major first step. It doesn't mean that the Wi-Fi is being turned off, but this is a major first step, and it's the first one I know that's finally come about. In Massachusetts and Maryland, there are some programs ongoing right now that are very, very close. CC Doucette has been working very, very hard to get similar bills pushed through, and she is very optimistic that this is going to happen. Schools are endangering the children. We know that Wi-Fi is dangerous, and we know that not only cell towers like the one in California where children came down with brain cancers, we know that this Wi-Fi is endangering their DNA, endangering their future fertility, endangering their development of every sort, whether it's neurological, whether it's cardiac. Every system is affected. In Simcoe, Ontario, children who were exposed to Wi-Fi suffered palpitations and symptoms of heart attacks. As soon as the Wi-Fi was removed, these symptoms stopped. Believe it or not, children in Simcoe, Ontario, and I believe they were in the age ranges of around 10, were given pacemakers. This is unbelievable. And it was only when Dr. Magda Havas suggested that it could be Wi-Fi and they removed the Wi-Fi from schools, that the children stopped having these symptoms. Here in Victoria, parents have been asking for Wi-Fi free rooms to be provided at least in 1 or 2 schools so that children and teachers who do not want to be exposed, who might be pregnant, would have a choice. And not one school board has agreed. The teacher boards, the teacher unions, the BC Teachers Association, 5 or 6 years ago, in their conference, voted to have the choice to teach in Wi-Fi or not, asking schools to please allow there to be Wi-Fi free schools in each district. Well, the school boards have denied that. This has not occurred. And why they are putting Wi-Fi in every schoolroom, even kindergartners who don't have computers yet, even preschool rooms, if there are some in some schools, have Wi-Fi when there's no reason for it. And the principals are told they cannot remove them or they cannot turn it off. There will be lawsuits, and the schools and the school boards will be held responsible. The trustees have been told in most school areas now that Wi-Fi is dangerous and that children will suffer health consequences. And for those trustees who are doing nothing after reading the evidence and being presented, sometimes by experts, sound scientific evidence, and they still do nothing, they can be personally held liable. They are not doing their jobs, and their director's insurance will not cover them unless they're doing due diligence and acting in good faith. And in situations where they are ignoring scientific evidence and not employing the precautionary principle, they could be held guilty of not performing due diligence or acting in good faith. So I would encourage parents to go on our website. Again, I keep promoting the website this time because there are so many things in there that are so important. On the 14th of June, under the newsletters, this important legal step forward in Oregon. And we don't have anybody in British Columbia like this one single brave politician to step forward. We have many parents. We have many advocates asking for protection of the children in schools. But not one politician, whether at a city level or the provincial level, has stepped forward to help. This brave politician in Portland, Oregon, makes a very, very emotional speech. before the House, and she talks about the fact that people called her loony, made fun of her, pressured her to quit, put her through a lot of uncomfortable situations, and she stuck with it. And after all these years, she and this very, very dedicated parent has succeeded. It's truly amazing, and let's hope that this will maybe give some of our politicians a little bit of starch in their backbones, and we can do this too.
Now, with this continuous exposure to microwave radiation, organizations that provide health care are concerned about it, like Blue Cross?
Yes, very. There was an article by Blue Cross where they've done a study, and the report says that they have found that the millennials, the first generation that grew up with cell phones, that grew up being exposed to microwave radiation from the time they were conceived, are now suffering the health effects that were normally seen in older people, seniors, and they're seeing it at a higher rate than was even experienced in the seniors before this and now. They are seeing at under age 30 heart problems, cancers, diabetes, and other neurological problems. There are documented documented incidents of people under 40 now with autism. That is increasing at a rapid rate. Blue Cross is saying that they believe this is environmental. I have not seen anything where they make a direct link to wireless radiation, but they should, and they will, because this is one of the things over the last 25 to 30 years that has been increasing exponentially, as has exposure to GMOs and pesticides like the junk in Roundup. They're all working together. I don't think anybody would say that it's just one. It's just one toxin. But people can choose, to a certain degree, the food that they eat. Of course, to a large degree, they're victims there without choice as well.
Well, sure, they're finding glyphosate in breakfast cereals that you'd give your kids.
In everything.
And Canada, unlike a lot of countries, does not have laws that limit or ban things from your food and water. The only thing they have limit on, I think, is lead. But if you want to throw anything else in there, they have guidelines, but they're not enforceable.
No,
they're
and
not legal.
They don't even try to enforce them.
Yeah. So, you'd think Canada would be a country at the forefront, but again, all you can do is suspect that the politicians are in the pay of the pharmaceutical companies and the petrochemical companies that make this stuff.
And the telecoms.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the telecom industry now makes more money, more profit than any other industry. So they're flush. They can pay the politicians. They can pay anybody to shut up, and they have. And Blue Cross is saying this is going to be a major crunch down the road with healthcare costs. And coincidentally, the very same, just a day or two before this article came out, or this report came out, Frank Clegg, who is the former president of Microsoft Canada, held a press conference along with 4 experts on the topic and warned that the healthcare costs in Canada are increasing and are going to be increasing dramatically once 5G is introduced. We know that, the effects are there. And Blue Cross is warning, the insurance companies don't take risks. And they are warning, just as Lloyd's of London and all the insurance companies have stopped insuring healthcare problems associated with wireless radiation, Blue Cross is waving a flag here. The costs are going to be so high that, countries like Canada are going to have major problems paying off those costs unless we do something now. And it's going to get worse. And what's surprising, Jim, as you pointed out, Canada is a country where you would expect these precautions would be taken and done so gladly. But they're not doing anything. Health Canada is washing its hands. They're not doing anything. and neither are any of our provincial health authorities. Yet one of the states in the U.S. that I consider to be one of the most backwards, Louisiana. I have family down in Louisiana. I know it's truly a very backward state, is now saying that they want studies done before 5G is rolled out. They want to know what environmental hazards and what health hazards will be posed by 5G. Louisiana, but not Canada? Louisiana has no money. Louisiana has, you drive in New Orleans and you almost break your car falling in potholes. They are doing this, and Canada isn't. That is truly shameful.
Sharon, thank you so much for being on the show.
I really appreciate the opportunity, Jim, and I hope you are able to get out to some of the presentations.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition to Stop Smart Meters. Sharon, your website?
www.stopsmartmetersbc.com. And if I could, every presentation is looking for volunteers and for donations. Thank you.
If you have any questions for Sharon or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet, our YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.